go of me!
You two, move along now.
Please, be quiet.
This is Auschwitz. It's suicide. We knew the risks.
We must inform the others.
September 19th, 1940. Warsaw, Poland. The streets are sealed. German trucks idle at the curbs. Boots hammer pavement. Civilians are dragged from doorways, from tram stops, from the middle of prayers. Fear moves faster than language. People run. People hide. People beg. One man does none of these things. He walks toward the soldiers. He slows his pace. He lifts his eyes and meets theirs. He wants to be seen. His name is Witold Pilecki, Polish cavalry officer, husband, father. And in this moment, he is volunteering for something no human being has ever chosen before or since. He is not going to escape the terror. He is going to enter it, on purpose. He is going to Auschwitz, not as a guard, but as a prisoner. He will survive the camp, and it will not save him. To understand why a man would do this, you have to understand what kind of world created him. Pilecki was born in 1901, far from Poland, because Poland did not exist. His family lived in exile, pushed east into the Russian Empire as punishment for rebellion. His grandfather had fought in the Polish uprising of 1863, and the price was everything: their land, their future, their home. Pilecki grew up with stories of sacrifice for a country that lived only in memory, a nation erased from maps but alive in blood. When Poland was reborn in 1918, it was not a miracle to him. It was a duty. At 17, he picked up a rifle. He fought Germans, then Soviets. By 20, he had already given his youth to war. When peace finally came, he chose a quiet life: marriage, children, a farm, poetry, painting. He waited for a call he prayed would never come. It came in September 1939. Germany from the west, the Soviet Union from the east. Poland crushed between them in weeks. Pilecki could have fled. Many officers did. He stayed. He helped build the Polish underground, one of the first organized resistance movements in occupied Europe. They sabotaged. They gathered intelligence. They waited. Then the rumors began. A camp near a town called Auschwitz. People were sent there and never returned. No letters, no bodies, nothing. The resistance did not know what it was: a prison, a labor camp, something worse. They needed eyes inside, someone to organize, someone to report, someone willing to disappear. Pilecki raised his hand. He was 39 years old. He had a wife and 2 children. He understood exactly what this meant. He also understood what it would mean if no one went. His commanders gave him a false identity: Tomasz Serafiński, civilian, no past, no connections. On that September morning, he kissed his wife goodbye and told her not to try to save him. He told her he was going somewhere important. Then he stepped into the street and let himself be taken. The journey took 2 days. No food, no water, beatings at every stop. When the train doors opened, the air changed. Auschwitz in 1940 was not yet the mechanized factory of death it would become, but it was already hell. Prisoners were beaten for looking at guards, beaten for not looking, beaten for walking too slowly, beaten for walking too fast. Work from dawn until dark. Collapse meant a bullet. Food meant survival without strength, just enough to keep a body moving. Life expectancy was measured in weeks. Pilecki was given a number: 4,859. His name was taken, his hair shaved, his past erased. Most men focused on staying alive. Pilecki began recruiting. He built resistance the way you build something fragile under a hammer. Quietly, carefully, in cells of 5. No one knew more than they had to. A glance at roll call, a whispered word during labor. Trust tested slowly, because one mistake meant death for everyone. The system was designed to break men. Pilecki turned it into a weapon against itself. His network spread through kitchens, hospitals, warehouses, offices. Extra food diverted, medicine stolen, names removed from death lists. Each small act bought another day of life. And all the while, Pilecki wrote reports in his head. Information was the real mission. The camp had to speak. Prisoners who were released memorized entire documents and carried them out word by word. Civilians smuggled messages in laundry and food deliveries. Corpses carried notes sewn into clothing. Within weeks, reports reached Warsaw, then London, then the Allied governments. Auschwitz was speaking. The world was being told, and the world did nothing. As 1941 turned into 1942, Auschwitz transformed. Birkenau was built, gas chambers, crematoria, buildings designed for one purpose. Trains arrived daily. Families stepped onto platforms and were divided with a flick of a hand. Left, right, work, death. Children went right. The elderly went right. The sick went right. Most never became prisoners. They were killed within hours. Their bodies burned, their belongings sorted and shipped. Pilecki documented everything. Capacities, timelines, numbers. This was not chaos. It was engineering. He begged for action. Bomb the camp. Destroy the tracks. Do something. The prisoners themselves asked to be bombed, believing death from above would be mercy compared to the slow certainty below. The reports reached every major Allied capital. They were read, filed, ignored. Later, planes flew over Auschwitz to bomb nearby factories. They photographed the gas chambers. They saw the trains. They chose not to act. The horror was no longer just the camp. It was the silence. Survival in Auschwitz meant living inside death, winter without coats, shoes that froze feet to the ground, the smell of burning bodies that never left the air. Pilecki carried corpses of men he had spoken to hours earlier. He worked beside crematoria and heard the machinery through the walls. He fell ill. Pneumonia, typhus, diseases that killed most who caught them. The camp hospital was a waiting room for execution, but his network hid him, changed records, smuggled medicine. He survived what the system was built to prevent. By 1943, the Gestapo was closing in. Members of his network were being discovered and killed. If Pilecki stayed, he would be captured and tortured. Under torture, even the strongest men break. He made another impossible choice. To leave meant abandoning those still inside. To stay meant risking everything he had built. He chose to escape. On Easter Monday, April 26, 1943, Pilecki and two comrades cut wires, used a stolen key, overpowered a guard, and ran. Shots followed them into the night. They crossed rivers, fields, borders. Polish civilians hid them at the risk of their own lives. After a week, he was free. He carried with him everything the world needed to know. He took it to the resistance: maps, schedules, plans, a proposal to attack the camp from outside while prisoners rose within. The response was measured, careful. No, it could not be done. Too risky. Too many would die. Militarily, they were probably right. Morally, it destroyed him. He had survived hell to tell the truth. The truth was not enough. When the Warsaw Uprising began in August 1944, Pilecki fought again, street by street, against tanks, with rifles and homemade bombs. The Soviets watched from across the river and waited while the Germans destroyed the city. 200,000 civilians died. Warsaw was erased. Pilecki survived again. When the war ended, he was free. Poland was not. The Soviets installed a new regime. Former resistance fighters became enemies of the state. Pilecki could have stayed in the West. He returned home. One last mission: to document the new tyranny, to report arrests, executions, disappearances. He knew how this ended. In 1947, he was arrested by the communist secret police. The interrogations were worse than Auschwitz. Beatings, sleep deprivation, torture by his own countrymen. They wanted names. He gave them none. His trial was a formality. The verdict was decided before it began: death. When asked for his final words, he stood straight and said he had tried to live so that in the hour of his death, he would feel joy, not fear. On May 25, 1948, in a prison basement in Warsaw, he was shot in the back of the head. His body was thrown into an unmarked grave, his name erased. For 40 years, Poland was forbidden to remember him. Witold Pilecki survived Auschwitz. History did not save him, and the silence that killed him is still with us.